So at the beginning of last year, I made a video about how gauge, tension, and scale length affect a particular note. Simply put, they're all connected. If one changes, one of the others has to change inversely to keep the same constant. Originally, I tried this between a standard 25.5-inch bullet strat and another bullet strat with a Warmoth baritone conversion neck at 28.625 inches. A difference of 3 1/8 inches, testing a baritone drop A tuning. This time around, I've modded a bass into a baritone guitar at a 34-inch scale length, and bought an extremely short-scale travel-size guitar at a 23-inch scale length, for a difference of 11 inches. Now with two similar pickups installed, the tonal difference ought to be pretty extreme, right? This is Kevin from Said Too Much. So what do you all think? Was the thinner string too bright or the thicker one too dull? Is scale length that big of a deal? Which one was actually the better tone? If I'm being honest, this isn't a perfectly fair comparison between scale lengths alone, with there being other differences in the guitars as well. The tone woods are different if you're religious about that, with a popular body on the travel size and a walnut mahogany body on the bass baritone conversion. Both guitars have a rosewood and maple neck though, and they're both bolted on. Probably the most significant variable is the pickup placement. Although I did get two of the same pickups installed in both, the closer to the bridge a pickup is, the brighter the sound. So theoretically, this means the disparity in tone should have been even greater. I actually hadn't even thought of that in the last video until someone mentioned it in the comments. Also, the baritone pickup doesn't fall perfectly under the strings. I had to shift it back and forth while recording, but I made a whole video on that project you can check out. And finally, I just want to point out that the guitar tone wasn't necessarily that great. I used just one of my stock tones for the demo. Usually I would tweak the settings around to make each guitar sound its best, so I still think you could end up with a pretty good tone with either of these guitars really, if you didn't find one satisfactory. So let me know what you guys think. Perhaps these guitars have such unique sounds, they're practically two new baritone instruments themselves. For now, enough said. For downloads, raw instrument tracks, and more exclusives, find our community on Patreon and consider adding your support.
Said too much.